Yo guys, it's your boy Mikey. Today we're talking about Jewish golems. It's kind of like a interesting, intriguing mystery of, ancient rabbis. They're trying to use occult magic to create sentient humanoid creatures, almost like an artificial intelligence. And this conspiracy, like, super interesting to think about it. Like, only the Jews can come up with this kind of concoction. Like, they're using occult magic to, make their own AI. Like, this shit's crazy.
Of 16th century Prague, a creature made of clay and mysticism, once guarded the Jewish people, standing over 7 feet tall with immense strength and unwavering loyalty. This being was not born, but formed by human hands and divine words, a literal manifestation of the fears and pitfalls of European Jewry. The Golem was created to protect the Jews in times of peril. This is the Golem of Prague, protector of the ghettos.
Protector of the ghettos? Like, what the fuck?
For generations, humans have been telling stories, tales, and legends about creatures found all around the world. From the griffin to the chupacabra, and from the leviathan to the Chinese dragon. It's high time we set out an adventure to learn about them all. This is an expedition for the mythological. Welcome.
This is kind of crazy. They're actually making their own bodyguards. They actually have their own AI, artificial intelligence, back in the medieval times. But like, what the fuck actually happened in the medieval times?
Golem, whose name in Hebrew, golem, means shapeless mass or unformed substance, was not just another mythical beast in the tales of medieval Europe. It played a crucial role in Jewish folklore and the protection of Prague's Jewish community during the 16th century. Before we continue, subscribe and turn on the notifications to join our channel. It goes a long way to support us in creating. The concept of the golem has its roots in ancient Jewish texts, including scripts from the Talmud and early mystical works within the Kabbalah. However, the most famous
Of course it's in the Talmud. What else is not in the Talmud, bro?
Golem story is associated with Rabbi Yehuda Lo ben Betzalel, also known as the Maharal of Prague, who allegedly created the golem in the late 16th century to defend the Prague ghetto from anti-Semitic attacks.
It almost sounds like a fake story. Like, I'm not making this up. Like, it almost sounds like a fake story different from anti-Semitism. Like, come on, bro. Like,
Golem of Prague. Before we delve into the Golem, let's talk about 16th century Prague and the Jewish community. The city of Prague, a part of the Holy Roman Empire, was a center of Jewish culture and learning. Under the rule of Emperor Rudolf II, Prague experienced a period of relative religious tolerance and was culturally flourishing during his reign. The emperor had a keen interest in occults and mysticisms, which created an atmosphere perfect for Kabbalistic studies from which a Jewish community could thrive. However, this period of calm was short-lived by the constant attacks of anti-Semitism.
There's a lot of truth in the Kabbalistic study, like, don't get me wrong, but this Jewish golem shit takes it too far. Like,
and periodic outbreaks of violence against the Jewish community. The Jews of Prague were then confined to a ghetto, subject to restrictive laws, and often faced false accusations, in particular the infamous blood libel. The blood libels were baseless rumors used by Christians to accuse the Jewish people of killing innocent Christian children and using their blood for the creation of matzah, a common food consumed by Jews during the high holiday of Passover. The story that
seems like, more and more lies. Just like the mainstream narratives. I don't know anything about it, but
commemorates the story of the Exodus from the Old Testament.
Bro, I'm just saying, this video is for entertainment purposes. There's not a single bit of truth in it. I'm just a comedian. I'm just a playing character, like.
It was against this backdrop of fear and oppression that the legend of the Golem emerged. Rabbi Lo, a renowned scholar and mystic, is said to have created the Golem in order to protect his people against the anti-Semitic attacks. A silent guardian who could watch over the Jewish ghetto during the day and at night, making sure the people would be able to go about their normal lives. The creation of the Golem was a complex ritual steeped in Jewish mysticism, only known to few, as the power would be too strong for normal people to handle. According to legend, Rabbi Lo, along with his son-in-law and his top student, performed the ritual on the banks of the Vlatva River. As night fell, they began forming
It's almost like they're trying to play God. Like, God created man from dust. Like, it's almost like they're trying to play God. Like, they can also create something like that.
Human mold with clay and mud. The process was simple, but not known unless you are of high knowledge and well-versed in the Kabbalah. First, the rabbi and his 2 followers fashioned the body from clay, carefully molding it into a
like, even if you know Kabbalah, like, there's no way you can actually, imprint God's spirit or like give sentient life to that clay, like
human form. This act in itself was
unless they have some knowledge of advanced robotics or something like that.
Seen as an emulation of God's creation of Adam from the earth. In the Jewish Torah or Bible, it is said that Adam, the first human created, was also formed from soil or earth, and that's where the name comes from. Adam in Hebrew means soil, earth. As the rabbi and his followers worked, they recited the incantations written in the Sefer Yetzirah, Book of Creation, a fundamental text in Kabbalistic literature describing how God created the universe. Once the clay form was complete, Rabbi Lo chiseled the Hebrew word emet, meaning truth, on the golem's forehead. The word was crucial to the golem's creation as it represented the truth that this creature exists and that the power of God was now flowing through him. In Kabbalistic teaching, emet, or truth, is considered one of the many names of God, embodying the concept of absolute truth. The final step was to place a shem, a piece of parchment with God's ineffable name, in the golem's mouth, or in some versions under its tongue. This act was akin to giving the golem a soul, or a life force, in Judaism referred to as a neshama. As the shem was placed, the clay figure began to glow with an inner light. Its eyes opened and it rose to its feet, ready to serve its creators and protect the Jewish community. They even gave the golem a name, Yosele, or Yosef for short. The golem's primary purpose was to protect the Jewish community from anti-Semitic attacks and blood libel accusations. It would patrol the streets of the Jewish ghetto at night, using its immense strength to apprehend or scare off attackers. Its mere presence was often enough to
It's almost like a lie or like a, some kind of rumor you actually invent, to scare out people. To don't fuck with this group because we have this some kind of like robotic ancient humanoid creature that's prowling around the streets. It's almost like a rumor, like
deter violence, as rumors of its existence spread fear among those who targeted the Jewish community.
yeah, that's what it was used for. I don't think it's like looking from an objective standpoint. I don't think it's factual.
Truth, emit.
Why was the word emet carved onto the golem's forehead, and why was it such a crucial part to the creation of the clay guardian? The Hebrew word emet means truth, like we discussed previously, and this word holds profound significance in Jewish mysticism as well as the creation of the world. Composed of the letters Aleph, Mem, and Taf, the first, middle, and last letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Emet symbolizes completeness and totality. It is said that in the Book of Creation that God used the 22 letters of the alphabet to create the world. And so the beginning being Aleph, the middle of creation being Mem, and the final stage of creation Taf. Gematria is the practice of assigning letters to numerical values. This in turn creates sacred words and hidden meanings to those who learn the Torah and the mysticism behind Judaism. The numerical value of the word emet.
Yeah, you can actually see this throughout the entire Kabbalah itself, using geometry and numerology and any other stuff like that. And these numbers or letters correspond to, divine realities itself.
Is Taf equaling 400, Mem equaling 40, and Aleph equaling 1, which can be interpreted in two forms. The first form is 144, which is the gematria for judgment. The second form is 441, equivalent to the phrase, "The Lord God is truth." Kabbalistic teachings view Emet as the foundation of creation, validating existence itself and our role that we must do in the truth that was given to the Jewish people. Emet extends beyond metaphysics into ethics, calling humanity to emulate divine truth. This is a concept that is heavily believed, which is our strive to emulate and be in the image of God. It's believed that God continuously sustains the world through truth, and if withdrawn, existence would cease. So to do so, the Jewish people must uphold the laws and truth that God gave them through the Torah, or God would lose faith in his people. In the Golem legend, inscribing Emet on the creature's forehead imbued it with an essence of reality and divine creative power, the same power that God used to create existence. The word Emet represents not only the fact of God's will to be true, but the very fabric of existence, divine nature, and ethical
Oh, you wait. It's more and more bullshit made by Jesus, scare of the Goyim itself.
imperative in Jewish mystical thought.
Power.
According to various legends, the golem possessed several supernatural abilities. It had superhuman strength, able to easily overpower multiple attackers. Some stories suggest it could become invisible, which was how the golem would find suspects, spreading false rumors of the bloodline. Certain tales, the golem had the power to communicate with and summon the spirits of the dead, adding an extra layer of mystical protection to the ghetto. Golem was said to be impervious to
Communicate with the spirits of the dead. Sounds more like necromancy. Like everything about this, occult magic using black magic itself, I'm pretty sure it goes against God also. Like,
conventional weapons, its clay body immune to swords and arrows, and while it couldn't speak, it could understand and carry out complex instructions given by its creator. But this wasn't all.
Yeah, how are you gonna uphold God's laws if you actually create creatures using occult black magic? That's just contradictory.
Always the interpretation of the golem. Other iterations of the golem described it as unable to fully understand commands it was given and would take the extreme of the request.
Golem's kryptonite.
However, the golem's power
If this is true, they have some kind of they have their own artificial intelligence back in the medieval times.
was difficult to control. This raised ethical and practical challenges. Some stories tell of the golem going on a rampage, destroying property and harming innocent people. It is believed by some that the tales of the golem going on a rampage often serve as a cautionary element, highlighting the dangers of creating life and wielding power beyond human understanding. One famous story illustrates the potential for misunderstanding and chaos that the golem could cause. The golem was instructed to bring water from a well to help with household chores. However, it took the command literally and continued to bring water without stopping, nearly flooding the entire house. In another tale, the golem was commanded to cut the trees of the forest for wood, which would be used by the Jewish community. A simple command like this was taken out of proportion when people returned they had found only stumps of trees.
It's a dumb, poorly programmed robot. Like, he couldn't even take commands. Come
From
on,
an
bro.
entire forest. It's funny that even though my Jewish family comes far away from any European Jewish ancestry, my mother would still tell me as a kid to not act like a golem. For example, don't be a dummy. The imagery of a mythological creature is still very much
That sounds like a good ethical advice.
alive within the Jewish people even today. The golem's actions and creation itself raised ethical questions within the Jewish community. While it protected them from external threats, its use of force and fear instilled in others made many Jewish people from the community feel uncomfortable. Debates between the Jewish scholars and the community about whether creating such a being was permissible under Jewish law and whether relying on it for protection showed a possible lack of faith in divine providence. Realizing the potential dangers and uneasiness from the community, Rabbi Lowe eventually decided to deactivate the golem. There are different tellings
Really, bro? Why did you abandon the project, bro? Like, come on, bro.
of the downfall of the golem. In other versions of the tale, the rabbi tricked the golem into leaning down so he could reach his forehead and erase the first letter. When erasing Aleph of Emet, changing the word to Met, which literally means dead in Hebrew. This linguistic play also highlights the power of words and letters in Jewish mysticism. Once the word
Damn, I feel bad for the golem now. Like,
was changed, the golem fell lifelessly on the floor.
the project was disbanded because they're too dumb to actually follow orders.
Another version suggests that the rabbi performed a reversal of the creation ritual. After the golem was running rampant across the town, the rabbi carefully removed the divine name from the golem's mouth when it was distracted, destroying the nearby town. As the Shem was withdrawn, the light faded from the golem's eyes and returned it to its original state of lifeless clay. Other versions also depict that the Emperor Rudolf II pleaded with the rabbi to deactivate the golem after the destruction and defeat of those who were against the Jewish people. The deactivated golem was then stored in the attic of the old New Jewish Synagogue in Prague, and it was locked away so no one would be able to reactivate the golem again. Legend has it that the body remains there to this day, hidden under
There's something mystical actually going on in Prague. Like, if you actually know about it, the conspiracy circles, like, there's something actually happened in Prague.
a pile of old prayer shawls waiting to be reawakened if the Jewish people ever faced a threat so dire that they needed its protection once again. Strangely enough, during World War II, when the Nazis occupied
Yeah, why don't they use this kind of... Why don't they use the golem and the idea of, like, they could easily actually use this pretty much right now in the war, like...
Prague, it said that they never entered the attic of the old new synagogue, possibly from the divine and mystical presence of the golem. This detail is another layer to the legend, suggesting that even in its dormant state, the golem continued to protect the Jewish people. In other religious and cultural contexts, the golem concept finds its way into the tellings of many legends. In Islamic tradition, there are stories of Al-Jazari's automatons, intricate machines created in the 12th century that some view as precursors to modern robotics. Christianity, although it does not have a direct equivalent of the golem, mentions statues coming to life as a protector of God's children. In Hindu mythology, the story of Ganesha's creation bears some resemblance to the golem tale, with the goddess Parvati forming a being from clay and bringing it to life. In Jewish mystical thought, the golem represents the raw potential of creation, the state of matter before it's given form and purpose.
If this is true, like, that advanced robotics is nothing compared to this. We can actually create sentient life from dirt itself using occult black magic. That sounds almost like crazy. Like, you can have someone to do the house chores. Like, I don't want literally my house to be flooded with water. Like, it's crazy. Like, I think it's more like a cautionary tale, but I wouldn't be surprised if something like this actually happened, because a lot of mystical shit actually happened in medieval times that's not revealed to our mainstream history. Like,
In Judaism, the belief is that through the teachings of the Torah, one can find that purpose. They can also find that meaning and the truth. This is similar to the golem, who was a lifeless mold of clay, that only until he was given the holy words did he come to life and serve the Jewish people. The golem was more than just a myth. It's a reflection of the Jewish people's deepest hopes, fears, and the eternal human drive to create and protect. A tale as old as time in the eyes of the Jews of Europe, and one that unfortunately just a few
come on, bro, they look so cute. Bring the golems back, bro.
decades later would sink into the darkness that even the golem could not help them with.
Damn, bro. So, what do you think, guys think about the Jewish golem? Do you think it's actually true mythology or just a cautionary tale? To ward off any other people from attacking the Jewish diaspora at that time? So, see you guys. Like and subscribe. Have a great day.